The hike around the Maroon Bells using the 4-pass loop is one of the most beautiful hikes in America. Our hike begins with the four-wheel drive road from Marble up to Schofield Pass. We stopped at the Crystal Ghost Town to view the old mill there, which is a very scenic site and one of the most photographed spots in America. I recommend you do not do what we did, which is to continue on past Crystal up the Schofield Pass four-wheel drive road. This is an incredibly difficult road, even for experienced four-wheel drivers. I elected to park at the bridge and not take the worst part of the road due to a reported rock slide up the road. One of the members of our party decided to tough it out, and he did suffer some consequences. At the beginning of the hike, our hikers were clean, well-shaven, well-fed, and well-rested. One of the things that surprised me was the profusion of wildflowers along this route. Even considering it was the middle of August, there was still an abundance of blooms. The valleys were incredibly green with plant growth. You should expect rain pretty much every day while you're there in the afternoon. The tops of the passes have phenomenal views in both directions. These are saddle points where you can see down on both sides of the mountain. We made a brief rest stop at Crater Lake. No, not the one in Oregon, but the one along the 4-pass loop. And one of the brave members of our party decided to take a little dip in the lake.
I thought he was.
There's the Maroon Bells. And this is Crater Lake.
Along the way, a little butterfly decided that my leg was the perfect place to take a rest. I didn't mind him sitting there while I was having lunch.
Waterfalls like this all over the place around here, but I thought this one was particularly pretty. Right along the edge of the trail. The trail makes a switch back right here. What a spot. You can drink right out of here. You don't need to treat the water. No way.
There are great campsites. Many of them are located just before and just after the passes. One of the highlights of the trip was SNOWMASS Lake and its associated mountain. Several members of our party summited this 14er. The views of SNOWMASS Lake and mountain as you ascend the pass to the south are just spectacular looking back.
So at 10:30 we started out down in those trees on the other side of the lake. Came up right about center screen there where the scree is. Crossed over, had lunch in the open area, and then started coming up these serpentine switchbacks. This pass is about 12,300 feet, so it's a bit of a climb, but what a spot. Look at the maroon color there, that's unbelievable. And jagged peaks, and that's where I'm headed right there. That is the top of the pass.
I'm learning to play the Native American flute, and I would practice in the campsite as the rest of the hikers would come into the camp. They enjoyed listening to the flute as they came down from the mountains and heard the music wafting up from the canyon. Expect rainy afternoons. I often found my hiking compatriots huddled underneath the trees that I invariably hung my Hennessy hammock from. This river crossing near the circuit around Geneva Lake was particularly challenging. This particular hiker found a unique way to lighten the load on his back. He had 2 goats carry all of his gear. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about hiking the 4-pass loop around the Maroon Bells. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe below.